All right, guys, this is 74 of Boxing Aficionados coming at you with another video. And before I begin, please subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Hit the like button and leave a comment below. So in this video, I want to share with you guys, talk to you guys, boxing for self-defense. Let's just face it. Many of you guys are not going to become professional boxers. Many of you guys are not going to become amateur boxers. However, there is a good chance that at some point you are going to be put in a situation where you are going to have to defend yourself. And so, in my opinion, one of the most effective forms of self-defense is boxing. And oftentimes, you will see people, they're going to be throwing hands. They're going to be throwing punches. So it's going to be very important that you have some basic fundamentals of boxing. I've been teaching self-defense for over 20 years. For a long time, I was doing self-defense seminars. Man, I've taught over 200 people, man. I've done seminars where I've taught over 200 people. So, also, my background is Muay Thai, boxing, Krav Maga. I have an extensive background in martial arts. I have an extensive background in fighting. I boxed as a youth. So, I have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to fight. So, one of the things I'm going to share with you, one of the most basic things in boxing, one of the most important things to keep in mind, and something that people don't talk about often, is the fighting stance. Fighting stance is going to be very important in a fight, man. And one of the reasons why the fighting stance is going to be so important in a fight is because the fighting stance, it covers a few different things. So first of all, the fighting stance is going to give you balance. If you don't have good balance, there's a very good chance that you are going to fall. There's a very good chance that you can be knocked down or pushed down, and without the proper base, you are just going to fall. Another thing that the fighting stance is going to do, the fighting stance is going to help you in terms of mobility. So without a good fighting stance, you are not going to be able to properly, avoid, because boxing is hit and not get hit, right? So you're not going to be able to evade certain punches, certain strikes from your opponent, and also in addition to that, you are not going to be able to move around and set yourself up for something. So, lastly, the last thing that a fighting stance is going to help you do, the fighting stance is going to give you proper base so that you'll be able to generate enough power, whether it's knockout power or respectable power. If your foot placement is bad, you are not going to be able to generate enough power when you punch somebody. So, I'm just going to, in this video, I'm just going to give you the basics. These are just the basic things you need to know. So we're going to start with the feet. First thing, what I always tell people in self-defense seminars, and this is the most basic thing for you. What I tell people in self-defense seminars is that all you have to do is take a step back. You take a step back to where you are most comfortable. Because when it comes to fighting, when you learn techniques, when you learn a fighting style, you are tailor-making that fighting style to your body type, to your level of athleticism, to your level of physical capabilities. Some people aren't as fast as others. Some people aren't as athletic as others. Some people aren't as naturally powerful and as naturally strong as others. So your fighting stance is going to vary to your own individual personality type. So even though you may have a teacher that's going to show you how to do something, again, tailor make it to how you are. So again, fighting stance is that, you know, you just, so imagine you're talking to somebody and they're starting to get aggressive. So the first thing you do, you just want to take a step back. Taking a step back. And so look at how my feet are. One foot is pointed straight forward. The other foot is back like this. And it's kind of like slightly at an angle. It's not straight like this, but it's kind of like at an angle, right? Because I'm preparing myself. Another thing that you want to do with your fighting stance, right? Let me get straight in front of the camera. It's a divot right here, so that's kind of making me uncomfortable too. And that's another thing, is that if it is starting to escalate and you find yourself in this type of situation, now the only reason why I'm not really moving anything is because I have the camera already set up. But you in your situation, you're not going to have a camera already set up. You don't really care about the camera. So if you do find like there's a divot, you know, or there's like some debris lying around, something that you can trip over, stumble over, twist your ankle over, you want to get yourself in a situation where you're comfortable. But, you know, boxing is a thinking man's game, and so you want to just kind of talk your way and just get yourself in a position to where now you feel most comfortable. Okay? Let me turn this camera around a little bit. So you want to be strategic. You want to be strategic. So here's my fighting stance. Now another thing what you want to do, you want to slightly bend at the knees, because by slightly bending at the knees, you're kind of coiling yourself. You don't want to lock your knees. Never lock your knees. So you want to be slightly coiled, just like this, right? Now, after that, now the hand placement, right? Now, you want to have your hands up anyway, because the person can sucker punch you. So like, let's say you're talking and this person is getting more and more aggressive. So sometimes what you can do, you can have your hands up like this. You can have your hands up like this. This is non-threatening. Okay, this is actually kind of showing, and this is how you should be anyway. You should want to avoid confrontation anyway. So, you know, but if you are in a situation where you really have no other choice but to defend yourself, you know, one of the first things I'm going to do, I'm going to try to walk away. I've had numerous instances where people talk crazy to me, people curse me out, people call me out of my name. Words aren't going to do anything. Words aren't going to hurt me like that. So, I mean, it's really nothing, especially a complete stranger, family member, anybody. It's nothing that person is gonna say that's going to get me to punch them or kick them or headbutt them or something like that. So if the situation is starting to escalate, the first thing you want to do, you know, you want to have your hands up like this, you know, and again, you know, almost like it almost looked like you're surrendering, but you're putting your hands up in case they try to sucker punch you or something. But that's why you have your hands up. You know, this is your first line of defense. So once you have your hands up, you just get yourself back to a fighting stance. Again, hands up like this, because you like this right here, if you put your hands up like this, you put your hands up like this, people look at that as a threat. People look at that as a sign of aggression. Okay, I also wanted to throw this in. I'm gonna throw this into the video as well. To me, like an idea fighting stance, okay? Okay, so you see how my feet are. Again, one foot going kind of straight forward. Doesn't have to be straight forward, but you know, one foot is going straight forward because of course, that's gonna be my jab. That's gonna be my jab. This foot is gonna be right here because what you have to think about, if you're throwing a cross, you're thinking about torque. You're thinking about generating torque from your cross. If I'm throwing the right cross, okay? So the ideal fighting stance, again, starting from right here, putting the foot back right here. And so now you see how automatically I'm right here, okay? So it's like at least if a person push me, I have the balance from this foot. And again, this is why I say don't lock your knees, because notice if I have my feet coiled, my quadriceps and my glutes, and just the natural position of this is going to keep me from being able from falling over, right? So fight. So starting back from here, foot goes back. Okay, my guards are up. Now, a true boxer, what a boxer is going to do, this is going to be a boxer's fighting stance. Okay, this is going to be a boxer's fighting stance. Some boxers, they fight like this. This is a bad technique. It's, you know, this right here is a bad technique. A good technique, and I think that one of the perfect people to watch in terms of like boxing technique, because they practice the most basic things that they already know, that they've been knowing since they was a child. They've been practicing this basic technique, and they do this in practice, and that's Andre Ward. Andre Ward is one of the best people to watch when it comes to that. So there's the fighting stance. You want your elbows tucked in. Why do you want your elbows tucked in? Man, what if you get caught by a liver shot? So, you know, if you get caught by a liver shot, you falling. Man, I'm telling you, I got kicked in the liver before. Man, it's one of the most painful things. It feels like you dying, honestly. So, you want your elbows tucked in, and the reason why you want your elbows tucked in is because the elbows are protecting the body. They're protecting the ribs. So this will be the fighting stance. That will be the fighting stance. And like I said, practice these really in slow motion. Now we're gonna go over the jab, but practice these things. Just basic fundamentals in boxing. Basic fundamentals in boxing. If you have the fundamentals down, there's a good chance, you know, you'll win, you'll be victorious in your fight. Normal people, a novice fighter, when they look at this as like, look, I don't want any problems. And it actually helps you to verbalize. And verbalize loud enough to where other people are gonna hear you that you don't want any problems, that you don't want to fight, okay? So this is the second position, so right here. Now, third position, you may want to put your hands up higher. You know, you may want to put your hands up higher, but you definitely want your guards up, because it's gonna be the guards being up, shoulder right here, protecting the chin, having the chin slightly tucked into the collarbone. You know, it's going to be this position right here is going to protect you. The least threatening stance is going to probably be like this. At least with this, by doing this, you are protecting yourself, but they don't know. But, you know, if they try to sucker punch you, you know, at least you can roll with it, and you can get it on time enough to where you may either absorb the blow, or, you know, they may even miss, okay? But also, going back to the feet, what I do is that when I'm standing on my feet, when I'm in a fighting stance, even if I'm in that situation where I'm trying to de-escalate the situation, I'm still on the ball of my back foot. I'm still on the ball of that. Because what you can do, if you're on the ball of your back foot and they try to punch, you can sway like this to where you're out of the way, and you can come back with a punch of your own. You know, or if the person is aggressive, if the person shows some aggression and they try to tackle you or something, you can get them like this, and now, you know, now you're in a position to where now you can like utilize your footwork. So hopefully that was beneficial. I'm gonna try to do these like once a week. Again, if you like this video, smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel. Share this video. Thank you for watching. Holla at you guys later. Peace.